Hi, hello, I'm Jenica. Let's budget my paycheck today when it feels like my paycheck is not enough for all the goals that I have. So for a little context, I get paid semi-monthly, so on the 15th and on the last day of every month. I'm currently living at home with my parents, which gives me a lot of flexibility with not having too many bills, but there are a lot of things that I want to save up for. Some of my current goals are saving up for a wedding, saving up for a car, saving up to move out, and making sure I invest while still getting my emergency fund to its last couple thousand. And today we're going to be budgeting $2,184.45. So that's just my take home. There are a few things getting taken out, such as 401k. There is a travel benefit that's getting taken out, as well as my FSA. And while I'm all for pay transparency, I'm just a little shy that someone I know will see how much I make, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But let's just get straight into the budget now. The first place that I look at is my bills and subscriptions, and I am actually 1 month ahead on that. So I'm usually looking at the next month's bills and subscriptions when I'm budgeting for that. So my first bill is car insurance, and that gets paid every 6 months, I believe. So for May, I'm putting $69.12 to hit my goal for, I believe I put September or October is when we have to pay, but around then. My second bill is my school loan. I put away $200 for that, and technically the minimum is only $79.97, but I do kind of want to pay off that student loan sooner than later. But the interest is pretty low at 4.53%, so I'm not sure if I should not really try to pay it off and put it like in stocks, put it towards some other savings that I have, like wedding, car, all of that, since those are needed kind of sooner rather than later. So I'm still kind of figuring that out, but for this month, I'm still putting the 200, and if I decide later, I could take away the extra and put it towards a certain goal. All right, and then a third bill is car registration and smog. So this is yearly for car registration, and smog is not every year, but I always include it in my budget just so that I have extra for whatever reason. If maybe car registration went up, or if there's just extra, I will put it towards my car sinking fund, which is for maintenance, and if I don't ever need maintenance, it'll go towards a down payment for a car. And then this is not technically a bill, but I treat it as one just to make sure I'm always paying myself first in at least one area of my goals. So every month I do $584 into my Roth IRA, invest that so that I hit my 7K goal for the year. So that did go in this paycheck as well. And then I also paid some of my subscriptions, things like the gym, iCloud, Kindle Unlimited, Audible, my credit card annual fee, YouTube Music, and YNAB, which is a budgeting system that I use. You'll see the more granular breakdown kind of somewhere here, but a lot of those subscriptions are actually covered by my work. So the gym is covered by my work, the Audible and the Kindle Unlimited are both covered by work. So I pay out of pocket, but then I get reimbursed. And then there are still a couple of bills I haven't paid with this paycheck, and that includes rent and phone, which I'm technically not paying yet. But each month I put money away as if I'm paying rent and then putting that towards a saving goal. So this is also kind of a way right now where I'm making sure I'm paying myself first, because I don't pay rent and I'm so lucky for that. So I'm trying to take advantage while I can. And now that we slightly got ahead of our budget for the next month's bills and subscriptions, this is where I now go into kind of my variable spending, things like dining out, groceries, etc. And usually I have leftovers for these categories from the previous month or previous paycheck. So I'm not starting from zero here, but I'm just adjusting as needed. So for example, let's look at just my expenses right here. Okay, for example, here is a look at my YNAB. Here we see that groceries, because I already have $300. So I don't think I need to put any more money in there. And I do have one more paycheck to adjust if needed. So for this paycheck, I didn't put anything in. So I kind of go through my whole budget like that and seeing like, okay, I have, for just as an example, I have $50 on personal this month. Is that enough money? Well, let's see what I need. I need a new eyebrow pencil. I need a new body lotion. And as an example, I need one more new skincare. That's probably not enough So then we'd add more money to that. So apparently after I looked at my categories for my budget, all of my variable expenses seemed okay at the moment. So then I went ahead and put like nothing in there, maybe except for $2.41 in my miscellaneous. Don't know why I did that, maybe to make it an even number. After all the bills, subscriptions, and variable expenses, then I go into my sinking funds. And for each sinking fund, I have a goal amount I want to put in each month. So maybe travel is $275, gift/giving is $100 a month. So then with whatever money I have left over, and depending on kind of other goals that I want to work towards, I'll look at the list of my sinking funds and then choose where I want to put money in. And then for this paycheck, I put travel, which was $274. Gifts, I put $75. For social/entertainment, I put $150. And then camera. I've been wanting to buy a new camera and I've talked about it a couple times. So I put $404 in there. And then with what was left over, I just put towards wedding, which was $317.38. So yeah, with this paycheck, things got moved around because with this paycheck, I really wanted to buy a camera. So things were moving, things were confusing, and yeah. The reason why I put all of the extra kind of money I had to wedding rather than splitting it out to the different goals is just because, like I said, with my car sinking fund, if I don't need that maintenance, that will become a car down payment, as well as I already have that $584 that I pay myself first, just so that at the bare minimum, I'm at least maxing out my Roth IRA. And I just think in terms of time, I think the biggest priority is the wedding. So I try to put a lot of any extra money I have, or if I get a lump sum of money, whatever it may be, I try to put a lot of that, if not all of it, towards the wedding. And then once we hit a certain number, we can go ahead and stop and reallocate that to whether that's investing, the car, all the other goals that I have. I think this specific budget, I didn't get to save as much as I wanted. And in terms of my big saving goals, I think the only thing that I really got to contribute towards was the wedding, which I usually like doing at least a little bit for all of them. So it does suck a little bit. But I think because I have a lot of my bills and subscriptions covered, I think next paycheck we're going to be able to put a lot towards savings. So yeah, if you want to see that, go ahead and subscribe. But this budget did what it needed. It covered the bills. It did some saving, so small progress is better than no progress. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you guys in the next one. Bye.